Hello everyone! Pag-usapan po natin sa video lecture na ito ang trouble debt restructuring. So mula sa pangalan nito, sa title nito, trouble debt. Ang utang natin ay nagka-problema. So we need to restructure it. If you are under a financial difficulty, you are the borrower, nakakahiya naman na thank you yung utang mo. Especially when the amount involves huge sum of money. Hindi po basta-basta yan papatawarin. Halimbawa, nangutang ka sa bangko. So, anong magiging mode of extinguishment of debt, extinguishment of obligation? O, di ba, pinag-aaralan nyo yan sa law subject. But I am not an expert no sa mga law subjects. I will be discussing here how is it done no from the accounting perspective. Okay, now, on a summary, meron tayong tatlong klase ng trouble debt restructuring. The first one is asset swap. The second one is equity swap. The third one, it's not liability swap, but it's a modification of terms. The liability will still continue pero modified. Lahat po na ito ay ginagawa natin because on exceptional cases no triggered by adverse economic conditions, the borrower is unable to pay. Pero syempre hindi naman nga yan papatawarin basta-basta no kasi matatalo din yan no. Loss din yan on the part of the creditor. So there will be some form of agreement na o sige, eto na lang ipambayad mo, eto na lang ganito ganyan. Unahin natin si asset swap. Plus, sa asset swap, no, ang pambabayad mo, imbis na pera, non-cash asset. Take note, non-cash asset. Not necessarily property. Basta, any asset except cash. Kasi nga wala kang pera na pambayad. But you have some other assets, no, na pwede mong i-consider as mode of payment just to extinguish your obligation. Under asset swap, you have to consider the following. Meron kang obligation, no? Magkano yan sa libro? It's carrying amount or the carrying value. Magkano yung fair value ng asset na ipambabayad mo? Pero definitely in the book, it's recorded at its carrying amount or its carrying value. The difference between the carrying value of the obligation and the fair value of the asset that will be given up is the gain on debt restructuring. Kasi kadalasan, no, yung carrying value ay mas malaki, no, doon sa fair value. Yung fair value ng asset ay no, hindi sapat para ipambayad sa utang pero sige na nga para lang hindi ako sobrang talo. Tatanggapin ko na yung property na yan. Kung anong man yan, ano. Okay. Meron kang gain on debt restructuring from the point of view of the debtor. Now, comparing the carrying value to the fair market value, there will be a gain or loss on exchange of asset. So they are accounted for separately. Okay? So consider the following example. No? You have Manila Bank and ABC Realty. Dito ang borrower mo ay si ABC. Okay? Nangutang ka ng 10 million kay Manila Bank. Okay. Unfortunately, dahil nagkaroon ng economic downtrend, hindi mababayaran ni ABC yung utang niya kay Manila Bank, amounting to 10 million plus accrued interest of 1 year na 12%. So that is 10 million plus 120,000, a total of 11.2 million. Okay, please take note that in the books, no, we are recording them separately. The 10 million is the notes payable or the loans payable, whereas this is your accrued interest. Okay. Sabi natin, compare natin yung carrying value sa carrying value ng obligation sa fair value ng asset and compare din natin yung fair value ng asset sa carrying value ng asset. Ang carrying value ng utang mo ay umabot na ng 11.2. The loan plus the accrued interest. Okay. Pero, ang fair value ng asset na ita-transfer mo ay 9 million lang. O, di ba, lugi ka. Kung ikaw si Manila Bank, talong-talo. Okay, pero tinanggap mo na yan para lamang may ma-receive ka pa rin na compensation. Pero from the point of view of ABC, panalo ka. Kasi ang utang na isi-settle mo ay 11.2 pero yung pinambayad mo ay nagkakahalaga lang ng 9 million. Therefore, there is a gain on debt restructuring amounting for the difference and that is 2.2 million. Okay? So this is this part, no? Itong part na ito, gain on debt restructuring. Next, i-compare mo ngayon yung 9 million saan? Sa 10.5 na carrying value ng land. Sa libro, naka-record ito at 10.5. Pag dine-recognize mo yung liability, pinambayad mo yung land, i-recognize mo din yung land at its book value or the carrying amount at 10.5 million. Okay, 9 million yung fair value, talo ka. There is a loss on what? Disposal of land. Kasi bumaba yung halaga ng lupa. Ang nasa libro, 10.5 million, pero ang fair value, ang halaga niyan sa ngayon, no, ay 9 million kung ibebenta mo. So that is accounted for separately. That is your loss on exchange of asset, loss on disposal. Kaya nga, pag titignan po ninyo itong journal entry, i-debit mo notes payable 10 million, i-debit mo interest payable 1.2 kasi ang normal balance na naka-credit. No? Tapos i-credit mo yung land 10.5 million. Ito yung carrying amount, 'di ba? Book value. Na-compute natin may gain on debt restructuring ka 2.2, may loss on disposal of land ka 1.5. Pag ginawa mo 'yan, no, total naman yung debits and credits mo. So tama yung ating journal entry. Okay? Notice no na technically 2.5 2.2 versus 1.5, that is that is 700,000, and that is the difference between 11.2 and your 10.5 million. Tama ba? Okay? Pero we have to account them separately. Okay? So, yan po class. In the book of the bank, ganito ang magiging journal entry. Tinanggal mo yung notes receivable, tinanggal mo yung interest receivable. Ang natanggap mo land, but the bank will measure the land at its fair market value of 9 million. Not on its 10.5. Excuse me. I-measure mo yan at fair value. Excuse me. Okay? O dito class, either i-debit mo impairment loss on receivable or bad debt expense or allowance for bad debts for the difference of 1.2 million. Makikita ba difference? Okay. So that is your asset swap. Susunod, pag-usapan naman natin yung equity swap. So dito sinasabi natin na okay, wala akong pambabayad na pera. Pwede bang ipambayad ko yung aking equity instruments? So shares of stocks yung ibibigay ko to settle the obligation. Dito ko-compare pa rin natin yung carrying value ng obligation versus the fair value of the instrument. Now, yung ating fair value may priority yan. Ang priority one mo is the fair value of the equity instrument granted. Magkano yung fair value ng equity instrument na yon? Or the fair value of the financial liability settled. So take note fair value of the equity instrument granted or the fair value of the financial liability settled. Priority one mo yung fair value ng equity instrument. So, anong example? Consider the previous illustration, no? Except that ang tinanggap ni Manila Bank is 180,000 ordinary shares. Okay. Ang par value ng ordinary shares ay 50 peso. Ang fair value niyan ay 60. Dito, we will consider the fair value. Okay? Kasi wala namang fair value ng liability. Tama ba? Kasi yun yung priority 2 eh. Fair value ng financial liability settled. So dito, meron kang fair value ng share 60 pesos times 180, 180,000. Magkano yon? Okay? The fair market value is 10.8 million. Tama ba? 180,000 times 60, that is 10.8 million. Ang carrying value ng utang mo ay 11.2. Meron kang gain on debt restructuring na 400. Now, ang par value ay 50. Okay? Tapos 180, no? E di meron kang share premium. Eto class, hindi po to gain or loss, no? Any difference between the par value and the fair value is treated as a premium. Share premium, no? Excess of par, 1.8 million. So, in the books, no, of ABC Realty, debit ka 10 million, debit ka 1.2, credit ka again on debt restructuring kasi yung fair value ay mas mababa sa carrying value ng liability. No, credit ka ng 9 million for the ordinary share capital and that is 180,000 times 50 pesos. Tapos, ayan, 1.8 million credited to share premium. In the book of the bank, syempre, tanggal yung notes receivable, tanggal yung interest receivable. Okay? Tapos, yung 10.8 million, yung kukunin natin because this is the fair market value of the equity instrument. Debit, investment in ABC Realty ordinary share. Tapos, difference is debited either to impairment loss, to bad debt expense, or to allowance for bad debt, whichever is more appropriate. Okay? So, ganyan lang naman yung ating equity swap. Okay, now, how about modification of terms? Class, pagdating sa modification of terms, meron tayo ditong kailangang tandaan. No? Kasi this will affect the treatment of our journal entries, especially in the recognition of gain or loss on extinguishment. Pero pag sinabi nating modification na bago yung original agreement, yung original terms of the contract. Kasi halimbawa, sa problem, ano bang ano natin dito? May okay, walang information as to kailan ito kailan originally. Kasi halimbawa, meron kang 10 million loan, tapos 5 years yung loan. Okay, 12% interest, no? Halimbawa, no, pwede bang extend natin yung term from 5 years going 10 years? Pwede bang bawasan natin yung stated interest from 12% gawin nating 8%? Okay, pwede bang bawasan natin yung utang? Kasi hindi ko masettle lahat. Pwede bang ano na lang, 8 million? At bayaran ko ito in a future period. Okay? Yung interest ko, hindi ko na mabayaran. Pwede bang patawarin mo na? Okay? Pag yung terms of the original contract ay nabago, in any of the following combinations, no, reduction ng stated interest rate, reduction ng face amount, yung mga binabanggit ko kaninang example, no? Yan po ay modification of terms. Oh sir, ano po itong moratorium? No, pag moratorium may temporary hold ka sa payment ng interest or principal or both. Halimbawa, dapat ang interest mo payable every year. Ang principal mo payable din every year, no? Nag-hold ka muna ng 3 taon. Moratorium of payment. Tapos resume na lang sa susunod. Okay. So papaano ang treatment natin dyan? According to IFRS 9, an exchange between an existing borrower and lender of that instrument with substantially different terms shall be accounted for as an extinguishment of the original financial liability and the recognition of a new financial liability. I-recognize mo yung lumang financial liability, magsiset up ka ng panibagong liability. Okay? Whether in full or in part, no? A substantial modification of the terms of an existing financial liability or a part of it, no, shall be accounted for as an extinguishment of the original financial liability and the recognition of a new financial liability. Plus, any difference between the carrying amount of the financial liability, okay, extinguish or transfer to another party, at kung magkano yung sinettle, no, including any non-cash assets transferred or liabilities assumed, shall be recognized in profit or loss. Ang sinasabi lang dito, meron tayong recognition ng gain or loss on extinguishment of obligation. Okay? Ano ang reference natin dito? Kailan natin sinasabi na substantially different yung terms? Ang sinasabi ng appendix sa IFRS 9 is that substantially different yung terms if the discounted present value of the cash flows under the new term, including any fees paid, net of any fees received, and discounted using the original effective rate, okay, is at least 10% different. So, meron tayong threshold na 10%. Pag yung na-compute natin ay 10% or more. Kasi at least, so ibig sabihin, kasama si 10%. Okay. Halimbawa, assume natin doon sa Manila Bank, ang utang ay 10 million. Okay? Pwede po bang ganito ang ating terms kasi hindi ko talaga mabayaran? So, kesa naman hindi kita bayaran at all, oh, wow, no? Pwede bang ganito na lang? Yung principal, 7 million na lang yung babayaran ko. Patawarin mo na yung 3 million. Patawarin mo na yung 1.2 million na utang. Extend mo naman to December 31, 2023. Okay? Sa ating example kasi December 31, 2020. So extended 4 more years. Babaan natin yung interest rate. Since extend ko, no, gawin na lang nating 8% instead na 12%. Okay. The market rate of interest at the date of restructuring is assumed to be at 12%. So take note ha, kasi kailangan nating i-compute dito. So eto no, if the discounted present value under the new terms, including any fees paid net of any fees received, versus the discounted using the original effective interest. Original effective interest is at least 10%. Okay. Sa problem natin, sige, tignan natin ito, no? Ang original effective interest rate natin dito ay magkano nga? Teka ha, hindi ko na maalala. May given ba? 12%, no? Hindi given yung original effective interest rate. Okay. Tignan natin. Diniscount natin. Okay? Discounted amount of future payments under the new terms. Present value of the principal amount, 7 million. Ito na yung new terms ha, 7 million. Okay. Times 63552. Saan galing itong 0.63552? Okay? Present value of the interest payment, 7 million, gamit na yung panibago, 8%. Okay? Times 3.03735. Saan galing yan? That is your 1.08 divide. Okay? Equals. Okay? Tama ba? Pakitignan po ito, ano? Wala akong calculator on site, on my premise. Wait lang, tignan natin kung may mahuhugot ako na calculator. Excuse me. Wala nga. But anyway, no, pa-double check saan galing po ito. Pero definitely, it will be based on the market rate of interest of 12%, no? 1.12 divide from 2020. Ito yung year-end natin, ano? Meron kang extension 2024. Okay? 4 periods. It should be this amount. Okay? So yung total present value ng future payments mo ay itong amount na ito. Yung carrying value ng utang na isi-settle mo ay 11.2. Ang difference mo ay 5,050,444. So going back here, no, discounted present value of the cash flows under the new term, no. Okay? And discounted using the original effective interest is at least 10%. Okay? Tama ba? Okay. So, class, no? Dito, ang difference mo ay 5,050,444. Now, Paano mo masasabi na more than 10% yan? Eh di 5 million, compare mo dito sa 11.2 million. That is definitely beyond 10%. So it's close to ano nga 50%, but definitely not. Okay? Pero sinasabi natin more than 10% yan. So meron tayong gain or loss on the extinguishment of obligation. Nakukuha po ba? Okay? So in this case, ah, i-debit mo yung notes payable, 10 million. I-debit mo yung interest payable. Okay? Ang ginagawa natin is that, syempre, ano, yung notes payable mo is measured at the face value. Tapos, plus or minus premium or discount. So, actually, etong alternative is the more appropriate journal entry kasi ina-account natin separately yung face value and then accounted separately yung discount. Or you can also consider restructured notes payable at this amount. Pero mas maganda itong alternative. And then, yung difference is gain on debt restructuring kasi yung halaga ng sinettle mo ay mas mababa doon sa face amount or yung carrying amount ng restructured notes payable. Okay? So, yan ano, class? Next one. After the debt restructuring, the amortization schedule will be something like this. Manggagaling ka dito sa 6149556, interest payment mo magiging 8%. So hindi na siya 120,000. 560,000 na siya taon-taon. Okay? Paano 'yon? 7 million times 8%. Tapos, yung interest expense mo will be this. 6149556 times 12. Okay? Sunod, follow mo lang. Tapos any difference is an amortization of discount. Considering that 6149 is lower than 7 million. So yun lang naman entry mo, no? Debit, interest expense, ano to? Oh, sorry, mali. This should be a credit to cash. 560. Dito dapat yan, ano? Okay, correct ko lang ha kasi mukhang naka-PowerPoint ito. So, hindi ko na yan may edit sa aking PowerPoint. And then, credit to restructured notes payable. Or in this case, discount on bonds payable. All right. So, yan, ano, class. That's how we do the journal entry and the subsequent. That is if there is a substantial, anong sabi natin? Substantially different terms. Okay. Now, consider this, no? Assume that in the previous illustration, ito lang naging terms of the contract. Reduction from 10 million to 9.5, pinatawad yung accrued interest. In-extend yung maturity for more years, ang stated interest rate tinaasan. Naging 16%. Ang market rate mo ay 12%. Plus, no, take note pala. Kasi dito, sabi sa ating ano no, standard sa annex, di-discount natin using the original effective interest rate. Okay? Using the original effective interest rate. Dito, anong ginawa natin? Kasi 'di ba, sa mga original problems, hindi given yung effective interest rate. Okay? Hindi given yung effective interest rate. Anong mangyayari? Plus no, when the problem is silent, o papaano 'yon? Meron tayong limbawa dito, no? 12% ang accrued interest mo, that is your stated rate. So, we will assume that that is also your effective interest rate. Nagkataon lang na dito sa atin sa problem, no, yung market rate on the date of restructuring is assumed to be 12%. Pero hindi po yun yung reason, no? The reason is that we are assuming that in this case, no, balikan lang natin yung original problem, no? Silent yung problem, the stated interest rate is also your effective interest rate. Nakukuha po ba? Kasi baka tanungin ninyo ako, and this is also what's on my mind while I am explaining it to you, Bakit 12% yung ginamit? Ang sabi sa standard, dapat original. Ito nga, discounted using the original effective rate. So may discrepancy sa ini-explain ko sa computation. Nagkataon lang na 12% yung interest market rate on the date of restructuring, but we should follow the original effective interest rate. Okay? So, take note lang noon. Baka kasi gamitin ninyo yung on the date of restructuring. Okay, class. Dito, sa second illustration, pag ginawa po nyo yan, ganito naman ang kakalabasan. Okay? 9.5 million yung new term. 9.5 million times 16%. Times mo yung present value nila, o di yung total present value ng future payments mo ay 10,654,212. Less mo doon sa 11.2 million. Ang difference mo ay 545,788. Pag dinivide mo yan sa 11.2 million, that is below 10%. Plus, pag ganyan, yung gain is not recognized as gain on debt restructuring. There is no yung terms is not substantially different. So in that case, ganito lang yung journal entry mo. Debit ka ng notes payable and yung interest payable. Okay? Credit mo. Ayan, ito. Restructured notes payable, 9.5, which is the face, and credit premium on restructured notes payable, which is the better option. Alternative lang yung naka-add yung premium doon sa face value na revised, yung 9.5 million. Okay? So, meron pa ba? Okay. For my actual students, I have prepared 5 review questions on trouble debt restructuring, but I will not be presenting it on this video lecture. I will leave that to you for your own review. Okay? So hanggang dito po muna yung ating discussion on the trouble debt restructuring. Sana naintindihan niyo po because I'm not sure if there are portions of my lecture na parang confusing kasi iniisip ko din yung aking sasabihin sa part na yon. Okay, but anyway, kung sakali man may mali sa nabanggit ko, please correct me if I am wrong. I am open for it naman, Alright, so hanggang dito muna, class. Maraming salamat. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.